But you got to face it. You have to admit that I don't like it. Because once you admit, then you can accept. I can accept what the problem is. Because the problem begins and ends with me. So I admit I don't like it. I accept I don't like it. Then I can adjust what I don't like. What I love is when the problem is me, I can change it.
There it is.
And here's the issue. Many of you are not looking in the mirror, you're looking at pictures.
Ooh. Welcome to another episode of the Build My Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Harry Dent III, joined as always by the bridge builder himself, Zach Brewster. Zach!
What's going on, man? Hey, listen, if you're watching this, Harry just had a birthday. He turned 30, the ripe old age of 30. 30 years old with 60 years of wisdom. So happy birthday, Harry.
Thank you,
Y'all make sure y'all wish Harry happy birthday on this podcast if you don't mind. But I'm excited today, man. You said this is episode 17.
Yeah.
Can't believe we've been doing it this long, and I'm grateful for those who listen, those who share. And we hear not only the comments that you post, but the ones you don't. And thank you for just sharing verbally with people what we're doing here. And if this is blessing you, follow us. Encourage some other people to follow us. We appreciate that. But Harry, you got a hot topic for today. Let's get there.
Absolutely, Zach. Let's jump right into it. I want to title this today, Don't Drift.
No drift.
Don't drift. And Zach, this idea comes from us getting to the midway point of the year.
Yes, we're almost there.
And I truly believe that there's two types of people. There's the first type of people that have had a phenomenal year up to this point, that's had a phenomenal January through June. But there's the other type of people who nothing has happened yet.
Yeah, that's a hard thing when you find yourself in a place where nothing has happened yet. And often the idea in the midpoint of the year is to just say turn back. It's funny because I was talking about that this morning, Harry, that you have to be consistent and courageous. And there are times in our lives where we feel like turning back because we haven't seen anything yet. And so we got to be consistent. We got to be courageous in order to keep pushing. So so the two different types of people on two sides of the line. So as a matter of fact, comment, let us know which one are you. Are you on the phenomenal side that you feel like things have been phenomenal? Or are you on the failing side that you think your plans have failed, things that you thought were going to happen haven't happened yet? Either way, we're talking to you because we got some principles for both to follow. The beautiful thing is both parties need to follow the same principles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so talk about it, Harry.
You know, Zach, you have literally segued into the first word I want to really talk about from a principle standpoint. This idea of reflecting.
Okay.
When we say don't drift, talk to the people about whether any side that you're on, the importance of reflecting, because you said it, of the not going back.
Yeah, so, reflecting can be done in a number of ways. In the business world, I talked about this not too long ago. We used to do HR reflections of what the person needs to start, stop, and keep doing. You can reflect by doing a SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, both on your business and on yourself. But let me just go ahead and get in your face. Reflection is about the mirror. You need to look in the mirror. There is no person greater at either your accomplishments or your demise than the person you look at in the mirror every day. So if you are looking in the mirror and you're saying, man, January through June of 26 has been great, then I want you to look at that person and say, this is no time to drift. This is no time to drift. Then I got to look at myself in the mirror and say, keep going. Keep going. I got to keep pushing. I got to keep going. There's no time to take my hands off the handlebars. There's no time to pack it in. There's no time to say I've arrived now.
Come on.
Because if you've gotten this far, this half of the year, greater is available to you. So I want you to press the gas even harder. If you're on the other side and you're looking at yourself and you don't like what you see, number one, I want you to admit that you don't like what you see. See, some of us, we pretend to like what we see. I've had moments in my life where I didn't even want to look in the mirror. Let me just be real, Harry.
Come on here.
There have been moments where I didn't want to check my bank account because I didn't like what the number said. And I figured if I didn't check it, I didn't have to face it.
Wow.
I didn't want to face bad relationships, so I tried to avoid people instead of going face on and dealing with it. But you got to face it. You have to admit that I don't like it. Because once you admit, then you can accept. I can accept what the problem is. Because the problem begins and ends with me. So I admit I don't like it. I accept I don't like it. Then I can adjust what I don't like. What I love is when the problem is me, I can change it.
There it is.
And here's the issue. Many of you are not looking in the mirror. You're looking at pictures.
Ooh.
Let me just deal with that.
Yeah.
Let me just deal with that. When I start looking at pictures, Harry, I start looking at other people. So I'm looking at the picture of what I thought my job would be.
Wow.
I'm looking at the picture of the person that I'm blaming for what they didn't do. Let me deal with some other people. I'm looking at the pictures of what my life was, and that season has passed, and I'm trying to live a past season in a present moment. So I'm looking back instead of looking forward. Don't look at pictures, look in the mirror. Because once you look in the mirror and acknowledge and accept, then you can adjust. But you have to admit, you have to accept, and you have to adjust. That's what reflection is, Harry.
Admit, accept, and adjust.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's powerful. That's powerful. And so that I want to just go ahead and move to the next point, because I feel like you hit everything I was going to say in the reflection point. But let's talk about refocusing. Yeah. Now that we've at a place where we're like, okay, it's time to adjust. Whether it's been working, whether it hasn't been working, how do we refocus ourselves to not lose sight of that dream, to not lose sight of that vision, to not lose sight of that goal?
Let me talk to the people that are winning. I used to have a job, and there was a guy I used to work with that was a counterpart that wasn't my favorite person. So every Monday we used to have to report KPIs, key performance indicators.
Yeah.
And most times we were red, and it wasn't good. And I'll never forget walking into that meeting, and we were green. I was excited. For the first time, he's not going to have anything to say. He looked at me and said, "Why are you green?" And it was kind of offensive to me, because I'm like, you complain every week. Now you complaining and we're green. But his point stuck with me. That happened to me when I was about 29 years old. I'll never forget it. What he meant was, it's not a win if you don't know why you're winning. So there's some of you, you can look at the first half of the year and you're winning. But if you don't have a systematic and strategic approach to remaining on the winning side, it's just happenstance. So when I talk about refocusing, I want you to even look at the wins and say, you know what, I'm winning, but I'm winning by chance, not by choice.
Yeah.
See, I want to win by choice. And by the choices I'm making, by the systems I'm making, by the things I'm cleaning up, I can look at my business, I can look at my personal career, I can look at my profession, I can look at my weight loss and say, okay, you know what, I done lost a few pounds, but it ain't because I ate right. I need to get to the gym more. So why are you winning? For the person that's not winning, for the person that's challenged, I really want you to refocus on your why. Why did you even start this journey? Because if you get caught up on your what, if you get caught up on your when, W-H-E-N, if you get caught up on your how, if you get caught up on any other element other than your why, you're going to find a reason to quit. But when I get back to my why, the reason I started this, the reason I believe this, the reason I even took this first step was, if you still believe it, then refocus on your why. Shameless plug, this is going to be coming out in the fall. But don't focus on the how, focus on the who. And I'll talk a little bit about that on our next podcast, of what's going to be coming out. But there's a devotion I've written called How versus Who. And when you get your mind off the how and get your mind on the who you're supposed to be, it will reconnect you with your why, and your life will change.
Yeah, I just want to double down on that. Refocus on the commitment. Refocus on the commitment. If you didn't start the year off making commitments to yourself, I want you to refocus now at this point in the year and make a commitment to yourself.
That's good, Harry.
I commit to myself that I'm going to do whatever I said I'm going to do. I commit to myself that I'm going to work and get that project out that I said I was going to get done out. Because it's something about the power of saying I commit to it. Not I want to do it. Not I think I'm going to do it.
You're talking right here.
You know what I'm saying? Now I feel like I'm going to do it. Commit to the process of whatever it is you got to do. And so when you commit to that, you're refocusing your mind, you're refocusing your frequency, you're refocusing everything inside of you to say that I have to get this done. And whenever you get to a place that I have to, not I want to, I have to, not I feel like, when you get to a I have to, you realize the importance of the intentionality that's required to getting things finished. I've also just finished and released a devotional out. And when I was working on the devotional, it wasn't even the hard part about getting it done for me. I've written books before, so getting it done wasn't the hard part. The hard part was changing the system of how I was going to market it this time. Because I looked at what didn't work with my previous books. I looked at what didn't work with the way I was trying to push it out before. And I said, you know what, God? let me get into alignment with how you think I should put this out. You tell me when to release it. You tell me when to introduce it to the world. And so I've been experiencing a level of abundance now because I got out of the focusing of how I wanted to do it and the focusing on how he wanted to do it. Let me say that for one more person right, so they can get into an alignment for this year. Stop focusing on how you want to do things and focus on how he tells you to do things. And when you get focused and refocus on the commitment, refocus on the why you're doing things in the first place, then you'll watch how everything gets into this last point, Zach, I want to go into. We're going to rise into the things we need to. I mean, now that we have got to a place where we said, okay, we realize that we have to refocus on some things and reflect on some things. It's truly time to rise into making this last 6 months of the year the best 6 months of the year.
Hey, what got you here won't get you there. So as a result, when you talk about rising to the occasion, it's going to take a different version of you to get to the next level.
Wow.
And I want to encourage you, I want to look right into the camera and tell you this, that version of you already exists. Wow. You may not have experienced it. You may not have had an opportunity to be that person, but it's inside of you. And when you decide to rise to the occasion, what you're making a decision to do is to be the best version of yourself for the best season of your life. And so what got you here won't get you there, whether you're on the drifting side of, I'm winning so I'm taking my hands off the handlebars, or whether you're on the losing side and I feel like I want to quit. What got you here won't get you there. You have permission to reinvent yourself.
Come on.
You have permission to rise to the occasion. You have permission to be the best version of yourself. You have permission to tap into that innate instinct that God has given you. Some of you are relying too much on intellect and not instinct. I'm going to say this and I'm going to turn it over to Harry.
Yeah.
When I rely on intellect, what happens is I overthink. When I rely on intellect, I start getting a pool of people to give me advice instead of working on purpose. When I start relying on intellect, I start reading too much of the news instead of doing now things. And so I came to meet somebody and tell you that I want you to trust your instincts. For the next 6 months of 2026, I want you to trust your instincts. I want you to suspend all your fears. I want you to suspend everything that's holding you back. And I want you to get to a place where you rise to the occasion to be the best version of yourself.
This is how I want to end this thing, Zach. You said something so powerful yesterday in the message, and you literally talked about this idea of knowing the dealer and having everything you need. But it caused you, the only way that you could allow the rise to truly happen is if you shifted the gear.
Yes, sir.
Talk to somebody right now who feels like they have reflected, they have refocused, but they just can't shift the gear into where they need to be in order to rise to the level they need to be in.
Well, shifting gears is about what direction you're headed in. So let's talk about that. So some of you spend your life in neutral. And when I spend my life in neutral, people can push me wherever I want to go. So anytime a car is stuck, you put it in neutral, and people even on the outside of the car can push you. Wow. Some of you have spent your entire life in neutral. You're going with the wind, you're going with somebody else's push, you're going with somebody else's version of you. But when I decide where I want to go, it's really only 2 gears. Either I'm driving forward or I'm reversing back. And don't always think reversing back is a bad thing, because there's some things you need to reverse your mind out of. There's some mistakes you need to reverse yourself out of. There's some habits that you need to reverse yourself out of. There are some relationships that you need to reverse yourself out of. There's some stinking thinking that you need to reverse yourself out of. And once I reverse out of that, then I can put it in drive and match the gas. And as long as I match the gas, I'm moving forward. So I want you to shift gears. I want you to reverse out of every bad thing you've thought or said about yourself. Thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions. And then I want you to put your car in drive, and I want you to pass by some things. Pass by the version of yourself that said you couldn't. Pass by the people that are the naysayers. Pass by the old you that no longer serves you. Pass by the things that you almost quit on. Pass by the last failure and get to your next win. I want you to switch gears because you can get there. It's time for a shift.
It's time for a shift. Drop that in the comments if you believe that it's time for a shift. Zach Mike on fire right here, man. Thank y'all for tuning into another episode of the Build My Bridge podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and listen, do us a favor. Whoever you want to see win in these next 6 months, share this episode to them. Share this episode to them. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.